Good morning, my friends. This is Becky. Welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about my good midlife crisis, where I am journeying through my 40s, working very hard to get my poop in a group. In order to do this, I have been working on my physical, my financial, and my mental health, and today's video is going to be a financial health journey. Today is Friday, May the 19th, and I am going to be budgeting out the money that you see right above my head, $1,739.25, $1,739.25. I am going to be doing that in an app called YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget, and we are going to be doing this together in just a moment. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will find this useful. If you are new, I hope that you are starting out a budgeting journey or just trying to get some ideas for your ongoing one, and I hope that this is helpful to you. Welcome. I'm super excited that you found me. Fair warning, I do tend to talk a lot, and I do tend to really go on about this system because I love YNAB super a lot. Just a heads up. If you are not new, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with me and being my accountability partners. It means so much to me that you are here and you have been here, and I love you all so much. That being said, it's 7:20. So, I'm starting a little earlier than I normally do on a Friday, so I have a little bit more playtime. The money that you see right above my head is money that I rolled over from last week's paycheck. I get paid bi-weekly, which is every other Friday, but I have decided to budget my money weekly. I used to do a paycheck budget, but the way my brain processes things, I just found it easier to try to do my week to week or my monthly expenses. Most of them I find it easier to do weekly, just because like when for groceries or for dining out or for things like that, I would put a lump sum in there and then I would end up going and spending it all in the first couple of days, and then I would have a good 2 week, like 12 days where I didn't have any money available in those categories, and it would be a long 12 days where if I did it from week to week and I spent it all in the first couple of days, I'd only have 5 days before I had money in that category again. It's the same amount of money. It's the same amount of time. It's the same amount of money going. It's just a mental thing for me. And so I've decided this way works better for me. One of my absolute favorite things about personal budgeting that I have discovered is how personal it is and how every single person does it just a little bit differently, and they make it work for them, even if you're using the same tools. I don't use YNAB the same way you use YNAB, and you don't use it the same way the next person uses it. And that is what is so amazing about it. Everybody uses it the way that works for them, and it works. And that's what it helps. If you are interested in trying out this program, there is a link in my description box below that will get you 34 days for free. If you sign up using that link, you don't even put a credit card in. I mean, you don't, even if you don't use my link, if you just sign up, you don't put a credit card in because they don't want to accidentally charge you. They don't want you to feel like you're going to be accidentally charged. You sign up, put in your email, you get access to the full program, everything for 34 days. And then at the end of 34 days, if you do not like it, you just stop logging in and it doesn't charge you and it just goes away. If you do decide you like it, be that after day 5 or day 34, and you have used my link, then you will get an additional 30 days for free. So you will get 64 days for free, and I will get 30 days for free. So if you're interested in trying it out, use the link in my description box below. And I will try to point out a couple of features as we go along, just to show some of why I like it. I also have an origin story playlist that I will link below. I had a friend of mine tell me just the other day that he had watched it and he enjoyed it, just seeing where I got started. Because if you know me in real life, or if you knew me a few years ago and are just now like, hey, that's Becky, I remember her, I'm going to check out her videos, what's she been up to? This me having money right now this is not normal for me, which is why I started this channel in the first place. Because I woke up right after I turned 40 and I realized my life was like not where I thought it was going to be. I was very overweight. I still am, but I'm working on it. I was in a very lot of debt. I'm still in debt, but not like I was, because I've been working on it. I didn't have anything in savings. I just didn't have my life. I did not have my poop in a group, and I needed to get that together. And so I decided to start working on it. And after a few months of doing that, probably about a year of doing that, I decided to start a YouTube channel for accountability, for than anything. And that's where y'all come in. And thank you so much for everybody who's been here supporting me for the last year, being my accountability partners, because I have made more progress in the last year than I did the first year I was doing this, just because I have y'all to support me. Anyway, yeah, my finances were in a mess, which if you watch that origin story, you will see. They were awful. And I had already been working on them when I got to that point. That wasn't the worst part I'd been in. Yeah. Okay. I actually am thinking about going back and finishing. I realized I only did the first month of my YNAB origin story. And I had like the first 3 months or 4 months documented, but I only did the first month. So the way I do my budget is I shrink myself up into the corner. There I am. Oh, I'm over there. Up in the corner, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I have this money up here ready to assign. What I am going to do is assign out everything that I need to pay between today, Friday the 19th of May, through next Thursday, the 25th of May. And then I'm going to roll whatever is left into a category at the bottom of my budget. This is how I turned my paycheck budget into a weekly budget. I have categories at the bottom of my budget for each week, and I assign whatever is left into the next week, and that is its job. Every dollar gets a job, because this is YNAB, and rule number 1 of YNAB is to assign every dollar a job. So the dollars that are left are going to be assigned the job of being week 5's budget. I will also receive a paycheck next week, so whatever comes in I will add to this. But for right now, we will get started. You will see the first thing, well, maybe not the first thing. The first thing I see, because I've been using YNAB and I don't like this, is that there is one overspent category. If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that that's probably not really an overspent category. I have a lot of my bills set on auto pay, and I have them set up in YNAB. YNAB like on scheduled, like they're scheduled to come out. So I know I told YNAB I was making a payment to one of my credit cards today for $100, and it was coming out today. So at like 12:01 a.m., YNAB moved this into my category as a transaction. I was not up at 12:01 a.m. doing my budgeting, so it shows that it is an overspend category. It is not. I just haven't put the money in there yet. Okay, let's get started. Every week, I give myself $50 for dining out, and y'all, I almost didn't spend any of it this week. Almost. So I had some rollover from the week before that I did spend. I went to Chipotle, and I got myself a coffee one day. I had spent like less than $20, and that was all in the rollover. I had 50-something dollars left over. But then Nathan had a really bad day the other day. I won't go into any details, but he had a theft of personal property, and he is taking it very hard. And I know it is very common for victims of theft and other things to blame themselves, and he is like the picture perfect victim of theft. He is beating himself up over this. And part of what they took was some of his work items. So he had to go into his office yesterday and get some replacement work items. He has to actually go back in today because it's not done. Anyway, he is taking it very hard. So I took him out for dinner last night and bought him a drink. And that was $49, which is, well, with tip, it wasn't $49, but with a tip, it was $49 for our 2 meals and his drink. So there went my entire week's budget. But I almost made it the whole week without using this budget. I was very proud of myself. And technically, his part should have come out of my giving. But I spent a lot of money on giving this week, and I had my whole budget available for dining out, so I left it. Anyway, I do $50 a week for dining out. So let's see if maybe I can do this week without dining out. We'll see. I give myself 75. What did I just do? Don't do what I did. So what I just did is I just changed this assigned amount from $100 to $50 when I meant to add $50. When you're using YNAB, if you already have an amount in here, you see how, I'm going to point to my screen like y'all can see my fingers. You see how it's got these plus, minus, multiply, divide? I want to add $50 here. I don't want to make it $50 total. I want to add $50. So I could either type 150 and change the total, or I could add 50. So I just made it 150. So now that gives me $55.02 for this week. I'm going to add $75 to my groceries that I can spend. I give myself $75 a week for groceries. I give myself $10 a week for fun. Y'all, I finished that book, the next book in the series, and I have not purchased the 8th book. There were 2 little short stories that came in between the 7th and 8th book, and I did read both of them. They were included for free with my membership for Audible, so I didn't have to pay for them. But I have not downloaded the 8th book. One of the main reasons I haven't downloaded the 8th book is because so many of the reviews said it was a pretty dark book, and if you're not in an okay place, maybe don't read it. If you've been around for at least the last couple of weeks, you'll know April was a very tough month mentally for me, mental health, and while I am feeling better, I don't know if I'm really in a good place to read a very mentally dark book right now. So the compromise I made with myself is that I will wait until my credit hits until I buy that book. I won't pay for it. My credit hits tomorrow, so it's not such a big deal. But it has been over a week since I finished that book. Or it's been a week since I finished that book last Saturday. It's been a week since I finished that book. And I haven't read the next one. And I've been itching to read it. So my credit hits tomorrow. I'm going to be honest, I'll probably buy that book tomorrow. Though I do have my bestie's baby's first birthday party tomorrow, and then Nathan and I are supposed to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy tomorrow, so maybe I can put it off for another day. We'll see. Ecclesial expenses. This is my church donation. I give myself $60 a week. What this is $40 for the actual donation, like cash. I draw it out in cash. And then I give myself $20 to go out for a meal with everyone afterwards. I have gone into detail on this a couple of times, but in case you are new, I feel like the meal is a big part of the fellowship. I know now that everybody goes to church, and that's totally fine. But if you do, I feel like a big part of the reason you go to church is for the fellowship that you get with the other people that go to church, with your brothers and sisters. And I feel like the meal is a big part of that, a meal afterwards, a shared meal. So I allow myself $20 a week. If anybody is going, I will allow myself $20 budgeted separately, specifically for this meal, so that I don't have to worry about choosing this meal over another meal. This meal is its own special thing to go out. I don't always go. I don't even usually go because we're very small ecclesia, very, very small in this area. And we don't, like, people have other things. Like this weekend, I know there's graduations happening soon. I just don't know if anybody's going to go. So if anybody goes, I have to, and if I'm up for it, I have $20 available to go. Last week was weird because I actually did it the exact opposite. I went in to see my mom, and my mom's ecclesia is much, much larger, and they actually own the building that they have church in, and they have a kitchen, and they do a potluck after every meal. And I decided, since it was Mother's Day, but my mom lives in a pretty small town, like there's not a lot of restaurants that you can, Mother's Day restaurants, like there's Whataburger, Domino's and things like that, but Dairy Queen, but those aren't like Mother's Day restaurants. There's only a handful of restaurants that you would take your mom to for Mother's Day. And by the time you get out of church, and everybody else in town goes to church because it's a small town in central Texas, it's just going to be packed. I was like, we're going to be standing in line till 4 o'clock to get a table for lunch. And so I was like, why don't we just eat at the church. And Mom was like, yeah, I would think I would prefer that anyway. So I spent the $40 on food. Like I went to HEB and bought stuff to make a lasagna. I made a gluten-free lasagna because there are other gluten-free members of that ecclesia. I bought stuff to make a gluten-free lasagna and then a gluten-free dessert. And so I spent $40 on that. And then the $20 I used as the donation. So I like flipped those on their head. But I did actually spend the full $60 last week. But normally it's 40 for the donation and 20 for the meal. Did I have to do my disclaimer that I talk a lot, right? I'm sorry. I just talk an awful lot. I give myself every paycheck week $50 for gas and $25 for self-care. That was last week. I'm not putting anything in there. And I did go get pedicures with my bestie last weekend. So my toes are super cute. And then pet expenses, household, and budgeting. These are all monthly. They get filled at the beginning of the month. And so they've already been filled this month. I'm not putting anything else in them. So that is all I need to put in for this part right here. The next part we're going to do today are my bills. These are the bills that I have that are due before I get before my next week's budget or before my next paycheck, depending on, in this case, it's the same. And I set my bills up when I set them up with the due date in the title, so I know where they are, and then I put them in order. If you're not familiar with YNAB, in order to put things in order, you want to see how complicated this is? You literally click and drag. And that is how you put things in order. And now it's out of order, and it's going to drive me bonkers. Okay, so that's how you put them in order. So it'll put them in the order that you put them in, like, if I just added, what did I just add? I just added YouTube Premium. This is a new one for me, as I just switched from YouTube Music to YouTube Premium, because it was only $2 more a month, and it includes the YouTube Music, and now I don't have to watch ads on my YouTube. So, yay! And I still get to support my creators, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to support my creators without having to watch the ads, and still have YouTube Music. And it was $2 more than I was already paying. So I made the switch. It was definitely a no-brainer for me. And I did that. It was a little bit less because I had already paid my YouTube Music subscription. And it was almost the end of that month. So I got like $1.40 something off of the price of my subscription. It will be slightly more than this. Somebody did comment and tell me the price. And I said I was going to go update it. And then I didn't go update it, and now I forgot, so I'm going to have to go back and find that comment and see how much it was for YouTube Premium with taxes. It's $11.99 plus tax. I'm going to have to figure out what that is. Anyway, so that's how I put them in order. So, like I said, today is the 19th, and I have to cover all the bills due through the 25th. So I am going to put Audible is every other month. I do this, even though it's an every other month subscription, I put $9.20 away every month. And then when it's due, I have the total $18.40. So I already had put $9.20 away last month. I put $9.20 away this month. And now I have $18.40 because this is going to actually draft on tomorrow on the 20th. This will pull. My internet bill is $63.94. This is due on the 23rd. This is an auto draft. It pulls automatically. One of the things I like about YNAB is if you set up your targets, which I 100% recommend you set up your targets. It takes just a couple of minutes to do at the beginning when you're setting up your budget, and then it saves you so much time overall. It helps you figure out how much you need for the month, figure out if your goals are accurate, like if you can actually afford what you're doing, if you need to revise things. And also, as you're doing this, you could, in theory, I'm not going to because I like to talk a lot and explain what I'm doing, but you could just click this one and this one and this one and say, I need to fund these three, and just click this underfunded button right here, and it would put all the money in that you needed to put in. I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to do this one at a time. So I'm just going to hit this underfunded button right here, and it will put in what I told it I need by the end of the month. And then my consolidation loan is $167. That is a debt consolidation loan that I took out. Now, this is not an underfunded amount because I set up a target to pay $500 a month. When I initially took out this loan, I wanted to pay $500 a month. Other things have come up since then, like my celiac diagnosis causing me to have a lot more medical bills and also causing me to prioritize my mental health a little bit more than my financial health. If you've been around since last summer, first of all, thank you so much for sticking with me for that long. You're awesome. And also, you probably will remember that struggle where I was actually a lot further ahead. I was doing a lot better on my budgeting last summer, and then I got really, really sick. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I had a lot of doctor's appointments. I had a lot of, what do you call those things? Procedures. They did endoscopies. They did liver scans. They did all kinds of stuff trying to figure out what was wrong with me. So many blood draws and labs, and it took a while, and I was in pain. I was so sick. Turns out it was celiac, and the process of that, it really takes a toll on your body, on your financial health, and also on your mental health. And I decided I needed to prioritize my mental health a little bit more. That's when I decided to go on my cruise. I was like, you know what? I'm 42 years old, and I have been talking about going on a cruise since I was like 8 years old, and I have never done it. And I'm going to do it. And so I did. And it was not the best financial decision. It wasn't the worst financial decision. It wasn't a bad thing. I haven't put myself in a hole. I can pay for it. But traditionally, when you're on a debt payoff journey, I should have paid off my debt first. I needed to do this for my mental health. I have no regrets. I'm very glad I did it. I decided to prioritize my mental health over my financial health. Did not go back to my old habits. I am still very focused on my financial health. I'm trying to incorporate making mental health decisions, good mental health decisions, without compromising my financial health. So one of the things that I did was kind of back burner the aggressive paying off of this debt consolidation loan. So instead of making $500 a month payments like I had been, I am now only making the minimum payments of I make $170. Yeah, I make $170. I don't know why I said 167. I make $170 every month. Okay. My Cinemark movie subscription will renew this month, and I have decided not to cancel it for right now because there are some movies coming out this summer that I really want to see. But I am still on the fence about keeping it because I do really want to support Flicks, because my friend is like, he works there. He's up in like the management up there, and I want to support his company, but Cinemark is just so much closer and more convenient. So for right now, I'm keeping this, but we'll see. We will see. Anyway, I have finally, with this movie that I'm going to see tomorrow night, finally used all my credits, y'all. If you've also been around, you'll know that I had 7 credits built up, which is why I was like, I gotta pause this membership. I'm not watching movies, and I'm paying this every month, and I just gotta pause it. That's it. Those are all my bills. And y'all, that's literally all I have to budget right now. That's it. That's everything. I think I'm done. Okay, so I do want to say, I paid off one of my medical bills yesterday. Well, not yesterday. It was on, what day did I pay it off? It was on the 15th. So on the 15th, I've been paying for it was my endoscopy, and I've been paying 60, what was I paying? I don't even remember. I don't remember what I pay, because I've just been auto drafting every month. It's $50.18. I've been paying $50.18 for my endoscopy every single month. And then this month, for some reason, on the 15th, I got an email that said that my credit card declined it. And I'm like, well, that's not possible because I pay my credit cards off every single Friday. And this was on Monday morning. And I'm like, I know there's a zero balance on that card. It was my PayPal card. And I was like, there's a zero balance on that card. There's no way it declined it. So I called the hospital where it had my endoscopy, and I was like, why did this decline? Can you try to send it through again? And they're like, yeah, we can. And they're like, we see that your balance is 60, what did she say? $65.10. And I was like, that's all I have left? And she said, yeah. I was like, pay the whole thing. Just push the whole thing through and let's get rid of this. So it was $11.01 more than I had to add that $11.01 to my medical fund. So I had to go a little bit over from what I had originally budgeted last week. But my endoscopy is paid off. I also bought some meds from Costco because I get heartburn. Those are my medical expenses last week. Anyway, and then this week, my payment for my doctor, my GI doctor, I'm going to pay that off this week just in time to go next week and start all over again. Not next week. Next month, I have a follow-up with them, and I'm sure they'll order all kinds of labs and follow-up liver scan and all kinds of fun stuff that I'll have to start a whole new payment plan. But whatever, at least I'm paying off some of my medical debt. It's starting to get there. And now that I am putting money away, this is my HSA, now that I am starting to put money away out of my paycheck, hopefully I can stop having to budget money out of my actual budget and use my HSA card to pay for these. When I set up these bills, when I was originally diagnosed last year, I hadn't really had these medical problems. And I had an HSA, but I was putting like $25 a month into my HSA card because I just needed it to cover over-the-counter stuff every once in a while. I didn't have any chronic medical conditions that I was doing. Like my annual doctor's visits were free. My annual lady visits were free. And I actually have an Aflac plan that paid me back when I went to the doctor. So I'd go to the doctor for free, and then I'd get a check from Aflac for going to the doctor for free. So it was great, and I didn't need an HSA. I mean, I had one, but I didn't have very much money in it. And then when this diagnosis happened, and all of a sudden I have all of these medical bills, and I know I'm going to have all of these ongoing expenses, I decided I needed to really up what I was putting into my HSA, because the money coming out of the payment plans, I sat down, and hang on, I sat down and wrote out all of the bills. This was as of at one point, and I'm sure there are more now. But these are all of the bills that I had gotten at one point. This is through July. Oh my goodness. These are all of my bills from July through December that I had gotten from when I started getting sick until I got a diagnosis, and this was my last follow-up in last year. And then in January is when I set up my HSA. So everything after this went onto my HSA, but everything before this, I was paying for out of pocket without my HSA. So those are all of my bills. Those are labs and procedures and doctor's visits and co-pays and things like that. And it was a lot, y'all. So that, combined with my decision to prioritize my mental health, is kind of why my financial health got a little bit backburnered, but we're getting there. This is going down, up technically, but this negative number is going down. I looked at, compared it to last week's thumbnail and the week before that, and it is very slowly headed in the right direction. And this one too. And y'all, I have not forgotten, I am going to make the YNAB toolkit. I'm going to make the toolkit video for y'all. I have not forgotten that. I just haven't had a weekend home in 4 weeks. And like I said, tomorrow I do have plans, but I'm going to try to work on that. I also want to try to work on getting my Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck set up on my planner, because I do plan out my budgets in a paper planner form before I put them into here, and I do track them. I do actually also record those videos, so I have a playlist of those if you're interested in paper planning as well. I do that, and I want to get this all set up the way I like it in Adobe Acrobat Pro, because I'm going to cancel that subscription, which makes me super sad because I love Adobe Acrobat Pro, but it's not I am not getting $22 a month use out of it. I'm just not. Oh, that makes me so sad. But yeah, I think I'm going to cancel that subscription. So I need to sit down at some point in the next couple of weeks and make sure I have every single month in this planner set up in my Adobe Acrobat Pro the way I like it, so that I can close that. And because you can't move pages around in just regular Adobe Acrobat Reader, you have to have Pro to do that. Okay, I think that's all I have for you. It is 7:47. I have to get ready for work. But oh, no, y'all, look at me. Look at me. I forgot to cover the $100 from Saver One. First thing I mentioned, and then I totally forgot to do it. Okay, now. Oh, and Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm is is another decision I made last year. I bought myself a purple mattress with an adjustable base. Again, zero regrets. I love that thing. I forget about these all the time because they are down here in the credit card section. I don't like that. But I can't, when you put in in YNAB, when you put in a card as a credit card, it automatically has its own credit card section. YNAB's credit card feature, probably single-handedly the number one reason that YNAB has saved my budgeting life, like saved my bacon from going bankrupt, is this right here. The fact that they have this that lets me, it helped me pay it off. It helps me keep them paid off. The way YNAB does credit cards has probably saved me. And I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not being dramatic. I have no idea. My mom is calling me. I have no idea where I would be right now if YNAB did not do credit cards the way YNAB does credit cards, because this is the best part of it. Okay, now I am done for real. And I'm going to put this $1,121.11 into week 5. All of my money is assigned, and we are done. I'm going to go. I'm going to call my mom. I'm going to get some breakfast and get ready to start my Friday. I hope y'all have a fantastic day and an awesome weekend planned wherever you are. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up on your way out if you enjoyed it. And if you are interested in following this or any of my other journeys, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you come along with me. I love you all so much. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye.